U.S. Vice President Mike Pence has become the first senior figure in the Trump administration to receive a coronavirus vaccine, which he called a medical miracle. And he did so in a very public way alongside his wife and the U.S. Surgeon General Jerome Adams. In front of cameras at the White House, the vice president and his wife rolled up their sleeves to get their first dose of the Pfizer-BioNTech jab. This move comes as officials are mounting campaigns to quash skepticism about the record-fast development of the drugs.
History will record that this week was the beginning of the end of the coronavirus pandemic. But with cases rising across the country, with hospitalizations rising across the country, we have a ways to go. And I want to assure the American people that we're going to continue to make sure that our healthcare providers have all the support and resources they need to meet this moment. But vigilance and the vaccine is our way through. And building confidence in the vaccine is what brings us here this morning.
Our correspondent in Washington, Nomia Iqbal, says Mike Pence appears much more engaged in the fight against coronavirus than President Trump.
You know, Mike Pence is the head of the coronavirus task force. He wanted to show confidence by taking the vaccine publicly. Notably absent from any of these public proceedings so far, as we were talking just before Mike Pence started speaking, is President Trump. You know, President Trump hasn't been scheduled to take the vaccine publicly. The White House has said that because he had the virus already, he might have antibodies, which means he doesn't need to take the vaccine. But Dr. Anthony Fauci, the America's most trusted voice on this, has said that that's not true. You would still need to take the vaccine. President Trump seems to already also seems to be far more focused on trying to overturn the election results than anything else. He did tweet at the time of the Pfizer vaccine being rolled out over the weekend that he would look forward to taking it at the appropriate time. He has actually tweeted this morning as well, saying that the second vaccine from Moderna has been approved, but that's not true. We're still waiting for the green light from the FDA on that, as Mike Pence mentioned there. And of course, this comes at a really important time, which the Vice President Mike Pence referred to there, when numbers are going up. Around 3,000 Americans are dying every day from coronavirus, and experts are putting a lot of that down to travel during the Thanksgiving period, despite public pleas for Americans to avoid doing that. And there is concern that we could see a repeat of that with Christmas just around the corner.
And Nomia, one other key point. In Congress, legislators are still talking about the stimulus bill. I know that a lot of the funding, the relief funding for Americans, runs out the day after Christmas Day. And so there is a real sense of urgency with so many people having lost jobs and businesses under threat in the States as around the world.
That's right. Both parties are continuing to try and thrash out this deal. There's been sticking points either side for this huge nearly $900 million COVID-19 aid bill. You know, some of the things that Americans can expect to get are $600 stimulus checks, also an extension of employment benefits. They are expected to keep working to thrash out that deal. Before Christmas recess today, senators have indicated that if that doesn't happen, that it will push into the weekend. But it's also important to note something else. With the vaccine arriving on Capitol Hill, I think a lot of lawmakers want to avoid any perception that high-ranking members of the Senate are getting the vaccine before Americans. We are expecting the American public to start getting the vaccines starting next year in March, according to Dr. Fauci. But just to give you a stat here, according to a recent poll, just 16% of the public think elected officials should be first in line for the vaccine.